New player action once again here from week 9 is Will McCarty at the bottom of the screen, fresh off a pasting from Rocky Mendez last week, is trying to get some momentum back against Stephen Gotlib. We have a small baby in the background as well. You can see, I believe Will normally plays mono black control, so it looks like he's branched out into blue black mid range this time, and Stephen on the other side, is he on a Knights deck, black white Knights. I'm quite interested to see this black white Knights because it was one deck I was considering playing as well. So here's a double block, so he's going to be able to split oh, this is nice. The fatal push is going to be a blowout here. Just plays a tapped fetid pull, so yeah, that's a huge swing there to get 2 Knights for the price of 1. Stephen doesn't muck around this time, just get that gifted Etherborn off the battlefield. You can see he's a bit land flooded here, but so this champion of Wits is going to be really good because he draws 2 and discards 2. And you can see he's got a Scarab God in hand, so Scarab God is going to come down next turn. Having said that, Stephen is in the colours that can probably best deal with that Scarab God. Cast Out or Vraska's Contempt immediately come to mind. So here's a Scarab God. So is there an answer on the other side of the board? We'll see it right now. He'll do it now. Yep, he's got a Cast Out. He has to do it before Will untaps, otherwise Will could get an activation. Blue-black has absolutely no way to deal with enchantment, so that's pretty safe. As the Knights are going to start flooding the board again here. Now the thing with this history of Benalia is it's just going to put, like, he uses a 3 mana removal spell to get rid of 1, but it just puts another one back on the battlefield. And you can see he plays Knight of Grace, so now he's back up to 2 Knights. He can tap both for the Heart of Quran. I wonder if Will, well, he's not going to do it actually, but I was going to say, I wonder if Will would be in the business of casting Vraska's Contempt on that Heart of Quran. I think he's just Field of Ruining here just for a bit of filtering so he doesn't draw as many lands.
Okay.
He can't hit Knight of Grace here because it's got protection from black. So only 1 Knight's going to get a pump, and I think will quickly throw that Champion of Wits in front of this because 2, 4, 6, he's got the 7, he can actually draw the cards to by eternalizing it. Draw 4, discard 2. Stephen looks like, oh, he's just played an irrigated farmland, so he's on Esper, not black-white. So here's the 5 damage coming across. Yep, there's the Champion of Wits giving itself up. And another history, so the Knights just keep coming. I probably would have eternalized first there, just to, in case you draw lots of good things. An extra land would have been a good one to be able to discard. So you can see now, I bet he would have wanted to discard 2 lands. He's forced to discard a Vraska's Contempt instead. So it's quite costly. As the Knights start to once again pile up on the board. Knight of Grace has got hexproof from black, so there's a ton of power about to come across.
Home, right? Home, right?
Doomfall's not very good in this matchup when there's lots of cheap Knights. It can be used as a duress effect, but for 3 mana it's a pretty expensive duress. Massive amount of power about to come across here. 2, 4, 6. He can block with a Gear Hulk. He's got a Vraska's Contempt in the bin from the Champion of Wit, so he can actually block the Knight of Grace and Vraska's Contempt the Knight of Malice, and then he'd be taking minimal damage. Also gaining 2 life from the Vraska's Contempt as well, so he's back to a starting total of 20. Gifted Aetherborn, oh, I don't know if I would have got in front there because those knights go back down to 2/2s the next turn anyway. He's going to be able to clear the board here, so there's 11 damage coming across. I don't believe Stephen would have a card that could get him out of this, unless he's got a Fumigate, which I doubt. No, he doesn't, so we're going to game 2. Plays a Swamp just so he can hold up for Fatal Push. So these knights quite handy coming down early here. This is an interesting choice here because he plays the Glint Sleeve Siphoner from an Aether Hub, so it's forcing Stephen to choose between playing a creature or letting him draw a card. And you can see Stephen did neither. Essence Extraction, a very handy sideboard card in the current meta. It's not going to be able to get that Knight of Grace, but it will get the Knight of Malice when it comes down later. And this is a very good pickup right here. Gideon of the Trials. He has to plus on the Glint Sleeve Siphoner, I think. Yes, he does. Glint Sleeve will still get the trigger from the energy trigger when it attacks. So it's not going to do any damage. I think I would have kept... He didn't... I don't think Stephen played... sorry, Will played a land there. I don't think I would have not... I would have blocked that knight because I think he needs to maintain pressure on Gideon. Because you can see a massive hit coming here. Down to 9. And without... I probably would have countered that as well. He's going to be able to Essence Extract the knight, but the problem is there's another one coming as well. So now he doesn't have a board. And Ifna Deadland's a nice way to get rid of that... get that knight off the battlefield, but he's still going to be taking a bit of damage as another knight turns up anyway, and a Heart of Quran. So lethal on board next turn. Gideon's going to chip him down to 7. I think we're about to go to game 3 here. Yep, game 3 coming. Okay, on to game 3. Winner takes all. Will really needs a good sweep in this series to have a chance at finals. I think his season is over if he doesn't. Just while they play out, I'm going to actually bring up the live score sheet. Yeah, because Rocky Mendez has got 2 games in hand, which makes it a bit complicated. This is actually Will's last game, so this is going to bring him to the full 9, and he's probably going to be relying on results going his way. from, and when I say results, I mean from Rocky. He is in a very strong Will's in a very strong position though to play finals in modern. This is round 9. He enters with a 7-1 record for modern, which is pretty good. I think it should be enough to make finals. And here's this Gideon that we saw in the first game do a lot of damage. Probably looking for a land here. He doesn't find it. Never a turn will be able to get rid of the Gideon though. But if Stephen's got a follow-up play here, I think this is a lot of pressure on the board. It's a Khan, so now... Okay, he's changed his mind. He flashes the Khan and then plays something else. Fatal Push can take that Knight of Malice down. And what's kind of... yeah, don't attack here. I think because he can kill that Gideon next turn. There's the land, but no, I wouldn't have killed that then. I would have held... Because he saw the Khan, so... He could have just held up negate, finished off Gideon with the 2 champion of the wits. So I think there's a big misplay there because Khan's going to resolve here. He's going to hold the Khan back, so probably a misplay from Stephen as well, particularly with Will tapped out. It's going to end of Vraska's contempt. So the answers are coming now. And he passes the turn to hold up negate. Second Gideon, he's going to let this resolve because he's got Vraska's contempt in hand. Gifted Aetherborn very quickly meets a Fatal Push. No attacks for some reason, I'm not sure why. And here comes Khan, so this is going to bite the negate. So, Scarab God. We'll see if there's any Vraska's Contempt on the other side. Fatal Push won't work because Champion of Wits is a 3-mana creature and no permanent left the battlefield there. So Stephen down to 10. He needs to get Scarab God off the battlefield now, otherwise this one's going to be gone. He's got the answer, it's a cast out. So we're still playing Magic. Nothing going on Will's side, so he can only chip in for 2 again. Importantly though, he does have the mana available to eternalize the Champion of Wits. Now, Stephen's gone for Fatal Push again. It didn't work last time, it's not going to work this time. Gearhulk's going to wrap this one up. Yeah, Stephen's saying in chat, wow, I'm dumb. Yeah, I think once is a misplay, twice is I don't know what. Just keeps chipping away, doesn't have to do anything. He can try and force the issue with the Gearhulk, but... We'll see if he taps out this Ballista, then it's game over. It is game over now. So he can flash in the Gearhulk, and Will's going to take standard 2-1. On to Modern now, where it looks like Will has decided to pick up Mardu the Pyromancer, whatever it's called, Mardu with the Bedlam Reveler, Mardu Reveler, I don't know what they call it. 4 Pyromancers and 4 Revelers in this deck usually. Mardu colours. You get my drift. Power plant into expedition map could be either Tron or Eldrazi Tron. I don't know if Eldrazi Tron's playing expedition map. They normally play Ancient Styrians instead, so I'm guessing this is just straight up Tron. Steven's just saying in chat he's never played this before. I don't know if he means he's never played Tron before, or he's just seen a Marsh Flats and never seen a Marsh Flats. Surely he's seen Marsh Flats before. So yeah, it's straight up normal Tron. He's on. Thoughtseize reveals and takes the Wormcoil engine. So Kolaghan's Commander is going to be very good here for Will, but he's got a few useless cards. Fatal Push and Collective Brutality there are going to be no good. They are going to turn on Pyromancer, so they'll give triggers for Pyromancer. Fatal Push obviously needs a target, so that one's no good. But Collective Brutality, you can at least drain them for 2 and pick up 2 life. Here we go. We can look. I see 2 Dreadbores in the main deck. That's a bit unusual. Normally we only see 1. And there's the Blood Moon, but he needs 1 more land to get it. Pyromancer is a good play there because it means that it's going to survive unless there's a Khan. There's no Khan, so Steven's got Tron, but he's got nothing to do with it. Yeah, he says in chat, I've got Tron and nothing to do. I think it's the first time I've ever seen a Tron player hit turn 3 Tron and not have anything to do. So here's a Collective Brutality. It's going to get an Elemental for the Pyromancer. 3 Sylvan Scryings. Well, I think this is a pretty heads-up play here from Steven. He didn't play out the Oblivion Stone. Well, there's Khan, that was his draw. That's a good one. I was going to say the heads-up play was that he didn't play the Oblivion Stone. I think I would have plussed Khan there, because Khan's potentially going to die here to a Kolaghan's Command, or you can see a Dreadbore in hand anyway, but Steven doesn't know that. Anyway, sorry, the heads-up play, he didn't play out the Oblivion Stone because he knows this deck, I'm guessing, plays Kolaghan's Command. He wants to be able to play the stone and crack it in the same turn, so he's got to hold on for a couple more turns. And you can see here, Will is struggling with only 2 lands. He can't play that Blood Moon. When he does get that 3rd land and plays Blood Moon, Tron's offline, and it would force Steven to then play out the. It would then force him to play out the Oblivion Stone and hardcast it. Which wouldn't necessarily be a big deal because you can see on Will's side he doesn't have black mana if he Blood Moons. But I think for game 1, Will's just looking far too slow. He's picked up another Pyromancer, and Marsh Fights is going to get him the black basic, so this is going to be a big problem now. And there's the Blood Moon. So it's going to force Steven to play Oblivion Stone next turn, but unfortunately for him, Kolaghan's Command is going to shut that down. There's a stone. You can see he needs the 5 mana to tap it, but that should send us, I think, that might almost be a concession. I mean, he's still got a bit of time to get it done, but with 13 life and only 1/1 on the board, but he needs to draw another stone. He's 2 turns away from hardcasting Khan. Ballista will work. And actually, Ballista is very good because it's going to shut down Pyromancer until we just top deck that Kolaghan's Command. Making him discard, so this will be a Sylvan Scrying. I think he's got 2 more left in hand. Oh no, he discards a Chromatic Star. That would have been a cantrip. He is going to be able to... he's just using that to get an elemental, but I probably would have held it off to the next turn. You can see he's lost a Bedlam Reveler because of it. I would have probably drawn a card and then cast it just in case there was something like that, because Bedlam Reveler would have been good. Main deck, Kozilek's Return, very good there. But Steven's just missing land drops, which is a bit of a concern for him at the moment. Again, you can see Will played out that mountain, and so now he's got problems because there's Oblivion Stone. He needs a top deck. He doesn't get it, but he does. That's a very good draw, Bedlam Reveler. So now you can flash back the Faithless Looting. You can see he gets rid of Lingering Souls because he doesn't have a basic white source to be able to cast it from. So Oblivion Stone cracking here, you'd assume. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure about this. I don't know what the hell that was. Will's just saying in chat that's not how that works. He's used the Oblivion Stone to put a counter on Blood Moon. And so that means that when he blows the Oblivion Stone, Blood Moon doesn't die. So I think he's just killed himself with that play. Yeah, he did say at the start of the game it's his first time picking up this deck. That is just an absolute disaster play. He's dead on board now anyway, so we're going to go to game 2. Yeah, that's a classic. That's one of the funnier plays I've seen actually. Thoughtseize is going to find what? Oh, big one. 2-4-6. What do you take though? 2 Khans and an Ugin. Yeah, I think you take the Ugin because he finds another land, he's going to Khan away the Blood Moon, then he's going to be able to play the Ugin. Again, another misplayed playing Faithless Looting with no cards in hand. And Expedition Map is going to find him the land he requires. I think he's going to... Steven's got this now, even though he's at 5 life. No point casting that Inquisition because we know what's in hand. Oh, but that's a big pickup there, Bedlam Reveler. That might just get him over the line. Down comes Khan. Gets rid of the Blood Moon. Even though this is a match just littered with mistakes, it has been a very entertaining match. Can't play Liliana because he doesn't have the second black source. Doesn't bother with Khan, he's just going to go straight to the face. And here's the bolt he needs to finish it off, so we're going to game 2. Yeah, I think Steven probably had that match won if he didn't misplay with the Oblivion Stone targeting the Blood Moon. But it's all just part of learning, I guess. I'm sure he's not going to make that mistake again this time. Sideboards, I'd imagine no Fatal Push and Inquisition of Kozilek is straight out for Will. We saw on Steven's side he did have Kozilek's return main deck. That's very good in this matchup. 2 Kolaghan's commands already is going to be very good. There's his only white source, the Sacred Foundry, so he's going to be able to cast Lingering Souls next turn. Tron online, does he have anything this time? He has a big ballista coming. So he can shoot down the Pyromancer now. What's he doing? Shoot down the Pyromancer now. Yes, he's going to do that. So, Ballistas with Tron online is a very good answer to Lingering Souls. Yep, so he's got to play this. He's got to play out this Kolaghan's command first. You can see Steven down to 1 card in hand as he draws a Khan. Ancient Stirrings first. Well, that's super risky because if he doesn't find something, he's not going to be able to play Khan this turn. You can see Will's got the answer in hand, the Dreadbore. Finds an Oblivion Stone. But Oblivion Stone, unfortunately, with 2 Kolaghan's commands in hand, is not too good. So he's got the mana for Khan now. Khan's going to tick up. But Dreadball will be able to take care of that. And this is going to be a pretty efficient turn here from Will. He's going to be able to Dreadball and Oh no, I was going to say he didn't discard the Lingering Souls. If he discarded, he could have played Lingering Souls as well. So he does have cantrips, so Stephen can find something, and he certainly does. It's a Worm Coil engine. Colligan's Command can take it down, but he's going to have to still deal with the 2 worms that come afterwards. Makes him discard. He discarded the Oblivion Stone, so that was a good pickup. I forgot to check just then, because I'm a bit... He'll be on the hunt for Blood Moon again. There's a lot of mana on Stephen's side. Any top deck probably wins it from here. We've already seen one Planeswalker one Planeswalker removal from Will, so I think if Stephen finds another Planeswalker, this one's over. And what's he doing there? Okay. I don't. If he gets Ulamog, I don't think Will's deck has any answer to it. Okay, plays a forest, Ancient Stirring. Surely you find something this time with Ancient Stirring. So much mana on the board. Only a Ballista. He's had a few Ballistas actually. I think these decks normally only play one, but this is going to be a second for the match. So he's got 3, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. This is going to be a 7/7 Ballista, so he's going to do some serious damage here. Chooses not to cast it for the extra if the Urza's mine. I see. He's just saying, why is one untapped? I think he doesn't realise the tower can tap for 3 mana rather than 2. Yeah, he's confused because I think he manually calculated and thought he was doing it for 6, which would have tapped him out, but it didn't tap him out. Yeah, that's right. He's just saying it now. He didn't realise the tower taps for 3. There's the Blood Moon he's been after, but when there's already 7 lands on the board, I think it's too late. Yeah, so he's going to get rid of it. You see, this thing is just massive. It's gonna 6. He can put another 3 counters on it if he wants to. So it's actually got lethal next turn. PZ's just gonna get shot down straight away. Oh. Now in response here, he can't tap out. He's got to do this one at a time. Otherwise, in response with the triggers on the stack, Will can actually get him with the lightning bolt. Well, I think he misplayed there because he still has 3 mana available. He could have put another counter on in response. Oh, here's Liliana going to make him discard. What's he going to discard? Okay, got rid of a Nature's Claim. Oblivion Stone will answer Liliana. He doesn't need to crack it now though, he can wait until the next turn. So it's kind of in top deck mode here. Oh, Ancient Stirrings is going to find something big, I'm sure. And Ugin. We're going to game 3, I think. Only a Only a Dreadbore off the top can save him now. So here's an Ugin ultimate. This is draw 7 cards, gain 7 life, and put 7 permanents. That's enough for Will. I probably would have let him put the permanents first just to see if there's anything funny going on over there. Oh, that's a super risky hand. I probably would have taken one of the cantrips there. Expedition map was a draw for the turn, so he's going to fix his draw with that. Oh, he's not going to fix his draw because there's a wear and tear that's going to destroy it. You can see the Dreadborn hand, that's going to be a big one. Just a minor point there with the chromatic staff for Stephen. He could have cracked the star to see what he finds first before playing his land. Okay, so he's found an expedition map. He can crack that now. So he's up to 2 Tron pieces. He really needs an Oblivion Stone in hand, otherwise this one's gone. Two Pyros are just there's lethal on board right now, so I think this one's done. We're going to Legacy. So Will's Stephen's just said straight up in chat, this is another deck I've never played. So he's just playing around, having a bit of fun in the league. That's cool. That lots of people do that. We kind of encourage you to play for whatever reason you want. Underground Scene to Brainstorm is probably a Delver deck, I'm guessing. Will, on the other hand, plays this funny little Jund deck, which is basically like Jund Modern ported over into Legacy with a few upgrades the lands and adds a few creatures. You can see the Deathrite Shaman there. It looks like straight up blue-black control, and he takes a him to Turak. He's scared of losing cards. You can see a Snapcaster and a Jace the Mind sculpted there as well. Yes, Stephen's just saying in chat that he doesn't really play constructed. He's more of a drafter. So, you know, with that information in mind, and it's pretty cool he put his hand up and decided to join the leagues. Here's a Tarmogoyf. There's an answer there, the Abrupt Decay. So he's got Jace the Mind Sculptor coming next turn if he can find the land. So you can see Will's just dropped his own Tarmogoyf. Gonna make him discard here. Just to fire off the Culligan's command. Did he just discard Jace? He did, he discarded Jace. I'm a bit surprised by that. Down to 2 cards. I believe he's still got a Snapcaster, so he can actually take care of this board. What's he going to discard this time? He discards a second Jace. Just as he draws the lands to be able to play it. Snappy will take care of Deathrite Shaman. You can see both players out of cards. And there's a heads up play there from Will. Snapcaster snaps in to target Fatal Push. In response, Deathrite Shaman exiles Fatal Push. And that is a pretty good reason why Snapcaster doesn't see as much play in Legacy because of Deathrite Shaman. A Grimfly of 10 cards in the graveyard, so the Jund is starting to get on top now. I don't know why he plus Liliana there when he's... Both players have nothing. Now that's a problem card, Leovold. Good pick up there from Stephen. So straight away Leovold does some work, netting him a card. So Grimflyer doesn't attack, he just wants to protect. Now Deathrite, it's either Liliana or Deathrite down, so advantage Stephen here. He's going to give up the Deathrite Shaman, I'm a bit surprised by that. I mean, Liliana can get rid of Leovold next turn, but he's going to keep Liliana around and give him a card instead. And that card's going to get exiled, so it doesn't matter. It's only a land. Okay, here's Tarmogoyf. So that's the clock right there, Tarmogoyf. And any creature that Stephen plays is going to get minused by Liliana, so this is looking pretty ominous. Here's Snappy. Is he going to get a Fatal Push back? There are no Fatal Pushes in the graveyard, so he'll target Brainstorm instead. Looking for an answer to the Goyf or the Liliana. If he can find a Fatal Push for the Goyf, he can only find a Brainstorm, so he's going to go again. If he can find a Fatal Push for the Goyf, then he can start knocking Liliana down. He finds a Hymn to Turak, but he can't cast that because he doesn't have the mana. And both players get Hymn to Turak, so they're going to just discard anyway. Down to 7. Only draws a land again. It's top deck time next turn. Liliana done a bit of work in this match. So top deck right here for Stephen, or we're going to game 2. We're going to game 2. So just brainstorming here. There's that pesky Deathrite Shaman on turn 1. I think he wants to get rid of that pretty quick. Hymn to Turak, a good one there, but it didn't really get the best cards. What do you take here? Force of Will doesn't have a blue card to target. So there's a Tarmogoyf with no answer on the other side. So Goyf's going to start pounding in now. And this is going from bad to worse. He can actually counter this. Oh, he can't. No, because he doesn't have the death right anymore. Pyroblast would have been a good one to have there. As this is looking pretty ominous now. No red sword. Yeah, he's had enough. It's too much pressure on the board, so it's game 3 time. So this has been a tale on both sides. What do you take here? Yeah, I'd go Deathrite or Brainstorm. This has been a tale on both sides of Tarmogoyfs winning the game for both players as we head into the third match. It's been a pretty competitive and entertaining series. Will's taken both standard and modern 2-1, and this is again gone to the third game in Legacy. Stephen trying to pick up his first win of the series. But we're going to see a turn. No, we're not. We're going to see another Thought Seize just to make sure the way is clear. Which one do you take this time? The problem with taking Spell Pierce is if he finds... I'm guessing he wants to play Tarmogoyf next turn. He took the Spell Pierce. Problem is if Stephen finds a blue card, then... then he can actually cast the Force of Will. So, but he didn't find the blue card, so... That's a pretty aggressive lightning bolt, particularly when we've seen plenty of Deathrites. What happened? It skipped through Stephen's turn there, so we'll see if they're just going to go back. Okay, no, there's no plays. Okay, so they've rolled back, so it's good sportsmanship there from Will. So it's going to enable Stephen to play out his Leovold, which is unfortunately outclassed by Tarmogoyf. Leovold would need him a card, but it's down now. There's no Spell Pierce on the other side, so 2-turn clock. 2 turns for Stephen to find an answer to that Tarmogoyf, which he cannot. Top deck time next turn. And he's going to Force of Will, so discarding a Force of Will, that means he's got 1 card in hand that he's going to discard to Liliana. So here's the top deck coming right now. Can he find something to stop Tarmogoyf? It's a Snapcaster and it's hard cast. He has the Fatal Push, I think. No, he doesn't, so nothing to snap back. He's going to target a Brainstorm, hoping to hit a Fatal Push. Does he find it? No, he doesn't. And this is game, so McCarty will take it down 12 points to 3 in a very entertaining affair.